And our focus of class today will be on hips, and we'll do a bunch of side stretches and opening up the side body so that you can take some of that pressure out of the shoulders, out of the middle of the back, out of the hips. Take your hands together at the center of your chest. Eyes are closed. Inhale together. Open mouth, exhale. And then just thinking about something that you're grateful for. I was mentioning this on Instagram, and it's just a practice that I have cultivated. I just think we think about a lot of negative stuff. And so even when you think about something negative, maybe you're like, okay, you know, there's fires burning, but the redwood trees are really resilient. So that's what I've been trying to tell myself about the fires, right? I'm like, my town is burning that I grew up in, but the redwood trees are resilient. You know, they can handle a little bit of fire sometimes. You know, things like that. So take something that's negative that you're thinking about, turn it into a positive, or just think about something positive and take that into your day. Bring your hands to the center of your forehead, your third eye, your intuition. Inhale. And open mouth, exhale. And start to bring the hands down, open the eyes. So we're going to start with some neck stretches, move into some side stretches. Shoulders are away from the ears. You're going to take your left hand up, so I'm going to do the opposite, and you're just going to tilt your head, let that side of the neck open, and then you're going to let that right arm come down. It might touch the floor, or you might make a fist. So either way, extending that arm will give you a little bit more of a stretch there. Breathe into it, get a little bit deeper into the side of the neck. And then release the hand. Looking forward, we're going to switch sides. Reach right arm up, hand is right near that ear, and tilt your head. Left arm can reach down, maybe you're touching the floor, maybe you're making a fist. You do this in a chair, you can always grab onto that chair. And release the hand looking up. Take the arms up into a big V, palms facing each other, shoulders down. So let the shoulders go way up and then pull them down. And feel that difference. And then open up if you need to. And then reaching over to the right, palm is up. And then you'll be able to feel that area a little bit here. Try to stay pretty upright and just slowly start to feel that side stretch. And then look down towards your hand and then turn your palm so it's on the floor and bend your elbow towards your body. And look down like between your forearm and your knee. Come up through center, reach both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, shifting to the left, let the palm come down. So you're looking down towards that palm. Feel that side stretch. And then looking down between thigh and forearm, and you're going to turn that left hand over. Let the elbow go towards your side. Push down into that right hip. And you can gaze down towards your mat. Come back up through center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take the hands forward. Come into all fours. You can have something under your knees if you want. We're going to stretch the wrists and do cat-cow at the same time. Tops of the feet can be on the floor. turning the hands around, fingers pointed towards the knees. Drop the belly, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine, drop the head. Twice more, inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, rounding, drop the head. Drop the belly, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round. Neutralizing the spine, turn the hands around. We're gonna switch that breath. You're gonna round the spine, drop the head, inhale. Exhale, lift the chest and tuck the toes. Keep going, round the spine, inhale. Exhale, pressing into the hands, pressing into the toes, pressing back into the toes. One more. Inhale, rounding, pressing into toes and hands. Exhale, lifting the chest, press into toes and hands. And then shifting back. So you're gonna shift your hips back, come onto your forearms, and then look back towards your feet. So through your knees, your chest is pretty elevated so that you can get a neck stretch. It's like a little puppy pose. Looking forward, shifting forward, so your forearms are down. You're gonna extend your left leg back, press the toes into the mat, shift forward and back. Switching legs, so toes are tucked, press down into the hands, bring the elbows in a little bit if they're winging out, so that you can create that line of energy coming from the joints, elbow under shoulder, extend right leg back. Press into the toes, shift forward and back. And bring that knee in, look forward. So you're activating the shoulders, you should feel something happening. We're gonna bring it back into a forearm plank. The left leg goes back, right leg goes back. Shift the shoulders forward, pull the belly in and up. Breathe. 2 rounds of breath. And then drop your belly, so the hands will stay the same. Untuck the toes, lift the chest. Still in that Sphinx pose, still using the shoulders. And then let the chest come down, slide the hands underneath your shoulders. You're just gonna lift the feet off the ground and then flex through the thighs and then lift the legs a little bit more. So find some elevation, looking down towards the floor, and then let the forehead drop down. Push back through child's pose, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, pressing the hips back. Press the heels back, alternate bending and straightening the legs. Bend the knees, look forward. Find your way to the top of the mat. Space between the feet, grab opposite elbows, shaking left to right. Release the arms, roll all the way up, 1 vertebra at a time, coming up nice and slowly. Find your Tadasana mountain pose. Turning the palms so they're facing forward. Shoulders away from the ears, reach the arms up into a V. Shoulders are down, pull the belly in, lift the heels. Take the hands together at the center of the chest. So lifting the heels, finding that balance, feel the calves activating. You're just shifting your hips back, so the knees won't really bend that much. Just the hips moving back, find the balance. Pull the belly in, start to reach the arms back, long spine. Dropping the heels, lift the arms up, chair pose, bend the knees, reaching up. Stand all the way up, lift the heels, take the hands to the center of the chest. And then find a breath count that works for this. We're gonna do it a couple of times. Shifting hips back, so feeling that connection of the ground. Release the arms, reach back. Maybe that's an inhale. Exhale, drop the heels. Inhale, reach the arms up, chair pose. Exhale, pause. Inhale, lift, lengthen, lift the heels. Exhale, hands to the chest. Bending just a little bit, shift the hips back, reach the arms back. Inhale, find that long spine. Exhale, drop the heels, lift the arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take the hands down to the mat. Step back into plank pose. Find your way to downward facing dog. That might be a cat-cow. Taking your time. Meeting in downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Stand up, inhale the arms up, lift the heels. Exhale, hands to the chest. Shift the hips back, reach the arms back. Drop the heels, reach the arms up, chair pose, inhale. Exhale, take the hands down, hop back or step back, vinyasa. Taking your time. Bend the knees, look forward. Hop or step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Stand up, inhale, reach the arms up, lift the heels. Exhale, hands to the chest. Shifting hips back, diver's pose, arms are reaching back. Drop the heels, chair pose, lifting up, finding that length, shifting your hips back. Take the hands down. Option for a crow pose, vinyasa. And add push-ups into your vinyasa. Maybe skipping the vinyasa. Pausing in downward facing dog. Bending and straightening the legs. Bring the big toes so they're really close. Bend the knees. Inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. Look back at your toes. Exhale, step right foot outside right hand. Dropping that left knee, you can keep the toes tucked. Right arm reaches up, open. Feel that left hip opening. 3 rounds of breath. Right hand comes down inside right foot. Lift the left knee. You're gonna step that left foot outside left hand. And it might take a couple walks with that foot. And then drop your seat, Malasana squat. Hands come to the chest. You're gonna release the left arm down, left fingertips might touch the floor, right arm reaches up, twist. So you're using the leverage of that left tricep, bicep area to push into that left knee so that you can open up, and you'll also feel a stretch on that inner left thigh. Lift your seat a little bit more, so lift your butt. And then take your right hand down. Switch sides. You're pressing that right arm into right leg. Get that leverage. Left arm is opening up. Awesome. Lift the seat a little bit more. Good. Feel that pelvic floor activating. And take left hand down. Lift your butt, forward fold. Let the head hang down, shake it out a couple of times. Take the hands down, option for a crow pose, step it back, vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Bring the big toes together close. Bend the knees, left leg reaches up, toes pointed down. Bringing that left foot to the outside of left hand. Right knee comes down, untuck right toes. Maybe keeping them tucked, whatever you do on the other side. Left arm reaches up. Feeling that right hip opening. One more round of breath. Taking left hand inside left foot, right knee lift, step right foot outside right hand. Toes turn slightly out, hips drop. Take the hands at heart center, lifting the chest. Right arm reaches down, touching the floor, press into right leg, left arm opens up. Keep coming back to the breath. Maybe coming back to that thought of something that you're grateful for. Switching sides. Opening up. Taking right hand down, lift the hips. Bring the feet a little bit closer, forward fold, maybe grabbing onto the big toe. There can be a lot of space between the feet depending on how you're feeling with this. Big bend of the knees, maybe shift a couple different directions, let your head be heavy. Take your hands down in front of your feet. You're gonna step the left foot back and you're gonna have a slight angle of the left toes. Reach the arms up and open. And then lengthen the legs. So we're just straight with the legs. You have a shorter stance. Left toes are slightly angled towards the top left corner. And then we're gonna move into that really short triangle pose, and then you can play around with it. So everything's already straight. You're gonna bring that right arm down, but be really slow with it. So my right hand is like it's above my knee. And then imagine a wall behind you and you're reaching down. So you'll start to feel that left side opening. Then you can take it lower and then take it wherever you want. Up to you. But if you want to get into that side, you really want to be leaning back. Like find that rectangle in your back and that rectangle is on the wall, right? Leaning back. Let the head drop down a little bit if your neck is feeling it. Taking a couple more rounds of breath. And then looking down towards right foot, take the hands down, step forward. Widen the feet a little bit. Hands are in front of the feet. We're switching sides. You're stepping right foot back. Take a short stance so that we can set up that triangle pose. Lengthening the legs, take the arms up and you can open them. And then glance down at your right foot. The toes are slightly angled towards the top right corner. Pulling that left hip back a little bit, triangle pose. Left hand is pretty high up on that leg. Leaning back a lot. Keep leaning back as you go down a little bit more and you'll feel that right quadratus lumborum. So it's that muscle on the side of the back. It's pretty big. And it's on both sides of the back. So getting it on the right side for this one. And take both hands down to the top of the mat. Step forward. Widen the feet, turn the toes out, Malasana squat. Let the inner thighs open, take the hands together. Let the elbows be loose. So we're gonna make this one a little bit more active. Squeezing the glutes, lift. So you're gonna feel the inner thighs activating. Maybe you're taking your arms up into a V. And then pull into everything. 2 rounds of breath, squeeze. And take the hands down. Lift the hips, drop the head. Take the hands down to the floor, step back, vinyasa. You can add a push-up, you can do chaturanga, you can just do upward facing dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. We'll start with warrior two, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step right foot to the top of the mat, the back heel comes down, so you're a little bit longer than that triangle stance we had. Find your stance. Pressing into the outside edge of that left foot. There's a slight internal rotation of that left hip. So encouraging that left hip to move forward. Maybe taking your hand and just moving that hip a little bit. The back one. Good. And then you're gonna release that hand, looking over your right hand. Bend that right knee a little bit more, so feeling the pose. And then we'll take it into triangle pose and just see the difference of a longer stance that you might shorten, slowly moving into it. So if you don't get that stretch on the back, that might mean you're stepping that left foot forward a little bit and then lean back. Lean back a little bit more. So if you look up, your left arm is extending from the right hand, if that makes sense. So you have this really long line of energy. Reach your right arm towards the top of the mat. Squeeze. Pull the belly in. Peaceful warrior reaching back, bend that right knee. Open up that right side. So a lot of side opening, a lot of hip opening. Cartwheel the arms down. You're just stepping your left foot forward. So both feet come to the top of the mat. Right foot steps back. You're gonna set up your warrior two, arms are reaching up and open. So same thing, check into that stance. Maybe taking your right hand on your right hip and then encouraging that hip to move forward. Then you're looking over that left hand. Left knee's over left ankle. Maggie, your whole screen is your cat. It's great. And pressing into the outside edge of that right foot, squeezing. Press into that foot a little bit more, Lauren, the back one. The outside edge, yes. Right, warrior two, like think about yourself on a paddleboard. Like if you're just pressing into that front foot, like you're gonna fall off that thing. So using both legs, and then lengthen left leg. We're taking a longer triangle pose. Gliding into it, leaning back, and then maybe you're bringing that right foot forward a little bit, maybe. Your head can just sort of drop down, but get that stretch in that right side of the back. Your gaze can be wherever you want for your triangle pose. Reach your left arm towards the top of the mat. Squeeze. Now you're activating through that muscle, right? We're stretching and activating. Things can be tight and weak. Peaceful warrior, reaching back, open the left side. Reaching back. Finding that length through the left side. Cartwheel the arms down. This time you're stepping back into your vinyasa, which might be some push-ups or not. We'll connect together in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up, bend that right knee, open the hip, and then look under your right armpit. And then feel how much your left shoulder is dropping. Now you're going to shift your gaze to your left armpit. Then make some ankle circles with that right foot. Switch the direction of those circles. Right foot comes back down to the floor. Downward facing dog, press the hips back. Shift forward into plank. Come down onto your forearms. Elbows are right behind the wrists and right under the shoulders. So if your elbows are winging out, bring them in a little bit. Shift the shoulders forward. Good. Drop the knees. Untuck the toes. You're in that Sphinx pose. Lift the chest. Nice. Shoulders are pulling back. Feel that activation of the shoulders. Feel the lifting. Spread the toes. Feel the thighs and knees lifting off of the floor. The thighs might stay down a little bit, but lift the knees, lift the shins. The feet are pressing down. Pushing up just a little bit more, pressing into the hands, tuck the toes. Lift the thighs a little bit. Lift your seat, lift your butt, forearm plank. Drop the knees. Shift back into child's pose for a moment. Come into downward facing dog. Lifting the hips. Bring the big toes close. Little bit of space. Soft bend of the knees. Left leg reaches up. Bend that left knee. Open the hip. Look under your left armpit. And then look under your right armpit. Circles with your left ankle. Switch the direction of the circles. Downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank, come onto your forearms. Dropping the belly, dropping the hips, lift the chest, Sphinx pose. Untuck the toes, pulling back, lifting. Squeezing the shoulders away from the ears. Finding that length through the shoulders. You should feel some heat building in the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Pressing into the toes, lift the knees. Lift your seat. Plank pose. Take it up into a high plank. Maybe one push-up into your downward dog. And breathe. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step right foot to the top of the mat. Back heel comes down, warrior two. Lengthening right leg, triangle pose. Leaning back. Right arm reaches forward, left arm might follow. Take both arms up to the ceiling. You're gonna turn all of your toes towards the side of your mat and then bring your heels in. Take the hands to the center of the chest. So you want a soft bend of the knees and then shift down and back. And maybe like a closer stance just so that you feel like you have some movement in the knees. So if your legs are too wide, bring that in a little bit. And then we're gonna get a little bit lower. And then squeezing a little bit more. And then pull in through the pelvic floor. You're gonna open up the arms, turn the palms up. So you should feel your inner thighs, you should feel things happening. And then you're shifting over to the right. Yes. And then let that side open. Come back through center, palms are up. Shifting the other way. So the legs aren't really moving, you're getting that open side stretch on the right side. Come back through center, two more. Shifting, breathe, inhale. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, shift. Both arms come up, get a little bit lower. Take the hands down. You're gonna turn all 10 toes to face the side. Bring the feet a little closer. Bend the knees and fold. So bent knees, fold. Lift the chest, tent the fingers. So try to get your hips in line with your knees. You'll feel your quads a little bit wider with the feet, Lauren. Yeah. And then bend the knees a little bit more, Sarah. So you want to feel like your quads are like, you know, something's happening. Nice, Maggie. And then you're going to look forward. So you have this long gaze and then reach the arms back. Breathe. So you're pulling into the belly. Lift the chest a little bit more, Sarah. Yes. And then look down, everyone. Squeeze your glutes. Take everything down, lengthen the legs, full drop the head. Widen the feet as much as you want. You can walk your hands back behind your ankles. Palms can be on the floor. Let the head drop, shake it out. And start to walk the hands forward. Take the hands right underneath your gaze, and then bring your left hand towards the middle. Right arm reaches up, twist. You can have a bent knee. Inhaling, opening. And exhale, switch. Inhale, reaching left arm up. Exhale, switch. Inhale, opening, nice flat back. And exhale, switch. Inhale, open. Take both hands down. Find your right foot, walk towards the top of your mat. Make some space between the feet, hands come down. Option for a crow pose. Vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior two, open it up. Lengthening left leg, triangle pose. Leaning back. Left arm reaches forward, right arm follows. Squeeze, lean back a little bit more. Take both arms up towards the ceiling. Parallel the feet. Take the hands to the center of the chest. And then turn the toes out, bend the knees, get low. It's gonna be a little bit different this time. We're gonna hang out here. Feel the thighs, feel it all, warming up. And then you're just lifting your right heel. Get a little bit lower with your seat. Reach the arms out and open, spread the fingers. Right heel comes down, left heel comes up. Switch. Breathe. Okay, we're grateful for our legs. We're grateful for our arms. Keep switching, alternating, lifting. And keep that right one up, left one lift, get a little bit lower, squeeze the glutes. And release the heels, reach up, lengthen through the arms, lengthen through the body, parallel the feet, keep the legs straight forward, full drop. Prasarita, widening the legs. Letting the head drop down. Walk the hands back, drop the head. Shaking the head, just being really heavy. And start to walk the hands forward. Find your left foot, walk your hands toward your left foot. Pause. You're gonna step your right foot forward into a short stance. So like a warrior one stance. So you're gonna turn your right toes towards the top right corner, but more of an angle than your warrior two. Think like 45 degrees. So step that right foot a little bit more forward, Sarah, and turn, yeah. So you want both hips pointed towards the top of your mat. You might take your right hand on your right hip and just pull it forward. You're gonna take your right hand to the outside of your left foot. Lauren, you're actually just gonna do the opposite of this. You're gonna bring your left hand inside left and right arm reaches up. So for pregnancy, open twist. So we're doing a revolve triangle, right hand outside, left foot. Left arm reaches up. You might have to bring that right foot forward. You might be using a block underneath your hand, and you also might have your right hand on the inside of your left foot. Feel that opening through the back, opening through the side. You can look up towards left hand. Take both hands down. You're gonna step your right foot forward, left leg back. So right toes are pointed towards the top of the mat, and then there's an angle of the left foot, like 45 degrees. You might take your hand, one hand on the hip and just make sure that both hips are pointed forward. Taking your left hand to the outside of right foot, right arm is reaching up, revolve triangle. You might be using a block. You might also have your hand on the inside of right foot if you don't feel that twist is accessible. You want to lean back a little bit more, so really opening. Take both hands down to the top of the mat. Step forward, fold forward. Vinyasa will meet in child's pose. Knees are wide. Chest is pressing down towards the floor. Maybe reaching the arms back towards the feet. You can bring the knees together if that feels okay for you. Or you can stay with that wide stance. So when your knees come together, I want you to bring the crown of your head down and then grab the backs of the feet and then roll the head a little bit more so you're looking back towards the toes. So pulling into the feet. And release the hands, walking them forward. So we're walking our arms forward, coming into that forearm stance with the arms, and then widen the knees. Lift the chest, pulling back. Extend the legs back. Forearm plank. Dropping the belly, lifting the chest. You're gonna reach your left arm forward, it's planted on the floor. You're gonna reach your right arm back. You might bend the left knee and grab onto that foot. And then you can take that forearm down. Just an option. Breathe. And release. Set up the arms again. Elbows underneath shoulders, hands are planted down. You're gonna reach your right arm out, press down into the floor. You're gonna bend that right knee, reach left arm back, and grab onto that foot. And then lift, open the shoulder. You can drop that right forearm. Nice deep breath, almost there. And release, take the arms out. Starfish upside down. Sliding the hands underneath the shoulders. Push back through child's pose. Come to a seat on your shins. Come over onto your side. Legs are gonna come out in front of you, and then you're gonna set up for Upavishta Konasana. So legs are gonna be wide, and it's like Prasarita on your butt. So legs are out. Lift your seat. You can always elevate your seat. And then turn the palms so that they are right on the legs, facing away from you so that your chest can lift. We're gonna do a side stretch. You're gonna reach your left arm out. And then you're sliding and opening. Looks so nice. And then open the chest a little bit so you can use that forearm of the left arm to open of the right arm. So again, you're getting into the back, feeling that opening. Eyes can close. Let it be soft. And then let your left arm come down. And slowly you're gonna walk towards the center and back up. So just being mindful of your back. So if you switch too quickly in these twists, it can like really kind of do some weird stuff back there. We don't want weird stuff. Reach the arms open. Shifting the other direction and opening. Feel that right side opening. Let your head drop down, everyone. Yes. Like take any tension out of the neck. Like we don't have anything to look at our arm. Like there's nothing exciting happening on our arm or the ceiling. And then let your right arm come down. Walking through center, lifting the chest. And then we're actually gonna go into a fold. Reach the arms up, inhale. And exhale, fold, and you can fold or you can stay upright. That's the other option. And then just do some neck stretches. And you can do neck stretches in your fold. You can also elevate your head. If you have a block, you can take your block on whatever setting you need, and then let your forehead go on top of the block. Getting a little bit deeper into it, whatever that means for you. Maybe it's deeper into the breath, deeper away from whatever thoughts are going on in your head.
Maybe that's the reason it hurts me so.
And start to lift the head, lift the chest. You're gonna look towards your right foot and we're gonna come into half pigeon, scissor pigeon. So you're gonna turn your back knee down, find that right angle, line right shin up at the top of the mat, center your chest as much as you can. So yeah, you have two right angles. You wanna line your shin up with one side of the mat and then your other shin with the top. So all these angles, and then shift forward and fold. So you're gonna get into that outer right hip. And it doesn't really matter what side you're on, we're gonna do the other one, so. Letting the head just be heavy, feel that right hip opening. And then planting your hands down. What you're gonna do is, so whichever side you're on, it'll be different. I think we're on a couple different sides. So you're just gonna let the legs go through center and switch sides. Adjust anything you need to. Try to get the chest over that shin. One side usually feels way different than the other. And then folding over your leg. And start to walk your hands up. You're gonna come back through that funky center position. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Final stretch, lifting the chest. Holding forward, and you can have your feet forward if you want a bigger angle for Tadasana, or you can keep it at Baddha Konasana. And then if you want to use a block for your head, you can rest your head on a block. It gives your forehead a nice support. If you've never tried it, give it a go. And start to slowly come up. We're gonna finish class seated, so find a comfortable seat that might be on your shins, that might be elevated on a blanket, and we're gonna breathe together. So find your seat. Crossing the legs, eyes are closed. And just see how everything feels. Shoulders away from the ears, and then take your hands together at the center of your heart, pressing the hands together. Inhale together, and let it out, exhale. Moving into Ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose, fill the belly up. Keeping the mouth closed, exhale down the back of the throat. And keep that going, 3 more rounds. Releasing a little bit more with each round of breath. Let your palms open on your thighs. And as you move throughout your day, there's something that always comes up in yoga when you learn yoga, when you learn the philosophy of yoga, that nothing is permanent, and that everything is always changing. And so if we can focus on the positive and keep bringing those thoughts back, it'll make everything a little bit easier and more manageable. Let's take our hands together at the center of the chest. Inhale together. Let it out, exhale. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.